Yes, good morning, students. I am Dr. Gopalakrishna M, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Economics, Government Prescribed College and Center for PG Studies, Thankunudi, Udupi. Today, I am going to take up for discussion Saarc or SAFTA. This is, of course, another very important regional trade blocks. We have already studied a number of trade association or blocks, maybe European Union, of course, first of its kind, and then NAFTA. This is another one, and like that, number of trade blocks which were emerged in 1990s, and their form and their bylaws. In other words, the rules and regulations and nature has changed after WTO certain extent, not exactly 100%. Anyhow, this is another very important, SARC is important for us also, for Indians, because we are also one of the very important member of this particular association. SARC means the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Of course, the thing is the regional, intergovernmental and geopolitical union of states in South Asia. The aims of the SARC are accelerating the economic and social development of South Asian countries. Particularly, these countries are all developing countries. That is why the cooperations among them is the most important things. If you have good cooperations with neighbors, of course they are all neighboring countries, and that is why if there is intergovernmental or geopolitical like type of unions, then particularly trade aspects and other type of relationships, everything will come in handy and it will become very good. So who are the members? Members are India, of course, I already said it's a leading member, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, of course, recently even Afghanistan. They are all the members of this particular union, association. Of course, the SARC was founded in Dhaka on 8 December 1985. Its secretariat is based in Kathmandu. Remember that head office is there in Kathmandu, Nepal's capital city. The organization promotes development of economic and regional integration. It launched the South Asian Free Trade Area, that is a SAFTA, after WTO in 2006. The SARC maintains permanent diplomatic relations at the United Nations as an observer and has developed links with multilateral entities including the European Union. Remember that? They have very good rapport with United Nations, as well as I already said the pioneer in this type of organization, European Union. So that is the most important things for us also in the trade area. So I will go with the objectives of the SARC. So the main objectives are to promote welfare of the people of the South Asia. These are all South Asian countries, so the welfare of the South Asian people is the most important things. And second one, to accelerate economic growth, social progress and cultural development. So they are interested to concentrate economic growth as well as social progress and cultural development, because they all are interdependent. If there is social progresses and cultural changes, then there is a chance for economic growth too. So there is a interdependent factors. And to strengthen collective self-reliance among the member countries, because South Asian countries are some extent they are neglected in, of course they are developing countries, all LDCs are neglected to a certain extent, so they have to go for the self-reliance. For that also SARC has some objectives. To contribute mutual trust and understanding, because neighbors, then there is always conflicts of interest. In such case, there should be a mutual trust and understanding. So there's the objective of this particular SARC to bring that type of atmosphere. To increase active collaboration and mutual assistance in economic, social, cultural, and technical and scientific fields. So these are the main objectives, and to strengthen cooperation with other developing countries too, because There are good number of countries around the world. They are also having relationship with the Indian. So from that angle, for that, it helps to strengthen the cooperation with other developing countries too, to strengthen cooperation among themselves in international forum on no matters of common interest. See, there are number of because they are all South Asian countries, their geographical and other things are almost all similar, so they have to go unitedly and then they have to fight for the things. So that is why common interest should be protected, to cooperate with international and regional organizations with similar aims. And I already said there are different type of association around the world with different interest in the sense trade interests, but it's in different dimensions. So of course SARC has to cooperate with them all. So principles of the SARC, of course, sovereign equality, that is the most important thing, and territorial integrity, that is the second one, and political interdependence. Say we should not invade or interfere in the political ideas of the other country, but there should be interdependences, because whatever the policy changes in one country should be taken care of by the other country. That is a type of interdependence is needed. No interference in internal affairs of the other state. That is already I said, because that's not good. So that should be left out. And organizations of the SARC, which are the main organization, there is a summit secretariat is there, a council of ministers is there, standing committees, programming committees. I don't like to go in detail about these all committees because it is a time consuming things, and I don't like to say about that all things. So technical committee, these are the main committees, and in spite of these things, there are some other committees also. The SARC member states have created the following specialized bodies of the SARC in the member states, which have special mandates and structures different from the regional center. These bodies are managed by their respective governing boards composed of representatives from all the member states. The representatives of the Secretary General of the SARC and the Ministry of Foreign External Affairs of this host country government, the heads of the bodies act as member secretary to the governing board, which report to the programming committee of the SARC. This is the most important. I will like to give the examples of the specialized bodies. SARC Arbitration Council, of course, the head office is at Islamabad, country Pakistan. Of course, if you want to refer, there is a website for that also. SARC Development Fund, SDF, it is set up in Thimphu, Bhutan. Their website is also available there. South Asian Universities, that is head office in New Delhi, India, and it is the website. South Asian Regional Standards Organizations, that is in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Like that, most of the countries are having different type of work allotted, and they are taking care of this all things, because in the sense they have to emphasize, they have to cooperate, they have to take care more about these things, and with the help of the other countries. So these are the special bodies that you can say. And how this has become SAFTA, SARC Preferential Treaty Agreement, that took place in 17 December 1995. The SAFTA Agreement for Trade and Economic Cooperation among member countries came into force on 7 December 1995. And features of the SAFTA. The objective of the SAFTA, of course, this is the addition in the SARC. Objectives are to promote and sustain mutual trade and economic cooperation among SARC member countries. So this is the most important things. It is an extra effort, of course, came into force. And so the objectives, that principles to receive equitable benefits, beneficial negotiation, treatment for less developed member countries. Of course, I already said India is the leading here, and there are a number of other countries, probably even Bangladesh, Bhutan, and small countries, and the Indian government has to take care of in such cases and give them some opportunities even more. Balance of payments and safeguard measures. Any member states facing serious economic problems, including payment difficulties, may suspended provisionally the concessions permitted to import merchandise. This is another action they have to take, because extension of negotiated concessions. The concessions agreed under SAFTA, except those made exclusive to the LDCs, shall be extended to all member states. That is another thing. Committee of participants. The committee meets at least once a year to review the progress made. It ensures the benefits of trade expansion among member countries. And non-application of the agreement. If preferences have already been granted or are to be granted by one state to other, this agreement is not applicable. There, different type of things has to be taken care. And what are the achievements then of SAC? The setting up of technical committee for economic cooperation among SAARC countries releasing to agriculture, communications, education, culture, rural development. This is the setting up a technical committee itself is one of the achievement by the SAARC committees, and of course that committee is taking care of this all areas and improvement in that area. The establishment SAFTA, I already said this is another addition of the feather to the SAARC, and it's having its own rules and regulations, but it has come under this SAARC itself. The established SAFTA and reduction in quantitative controls, tariffs and non-tariff barriers on imports and grants of concession under it. This is the most important thing. The eradication of poverty among member countries being the main objective of SAARC, they established 3-tier mechanism for this purpose. Remember, eradication of poverty. This is the most important area where most of the SAARC countries are struggling hard with 3 important areas. SAARC has created a reserve of 2,41,580 tons of food grains for meeting emergencies in member countries. Of course, not today. It may be more than that today, and it is the little older data. So, government, it is managed by the SAARC Food Security Reserve Board. Remember that they are going to manage it, and definitely that is a good improvement among the SAARC countries. SAARC has set up SAARC Chamber of Commerce and Industry SSCI since 1992 with its headquarters in Karachi to organize trade fairs. Remember, this is the very important step that to improve the international trade and all these things. So for the Chamber of Commerce and Industry to take care of the development of the industry there. SAARC has established the SAARC Agriculture Information Center, which works as central information institution for issues like fisheries, forestry, potato, new stock, rice, etc. This is another achievement we were able to achieve. SAARC has entered into agreements with a number of international and regional organizations like UNCTAD, European Union, CIDA for the development of its member countries. So this is another step of achievement of the SAARC. And so we have very good rapport with this UNCTAD, EU and CIDA, everything. Next, to help member states financially, SAARC has set up following funds. Remember that I already said most of them are less developed countries. Of course, I don't say the most, majority, almost all are less developed countries. And there is a need of financial support. So South Asian Development Fund is established. So they are going to give, this particular fund is going to provide some funds to different type of projects there. And SAARC Japan Special Fund is also established. It's also helping to these member countries. So it is not the end, because it is not sufficient, it is not enough. So there are a number of criticisms also. There may be some problems in respect of this particular functioning of SAARC. So from that angle, if you see that there are many commodities with large intra-trade with have not been included in the list of tariff concessions. This is the biggest problem, because the SAARC is established for the tariff concession. Even after globalizations, of course, you could not able to 100% relax from the tariff. Sometimes you have to, of course, in WTO also there are some opportunities and some conditions. In such case, the same thing is applied here also. This problem is there in today also. Many commodities under the trade concessions are not traded among SAARC countries. That is another thing. So of course, sometimes there should be coincidence of interest also. That may not happen. Then there is a chance of trade with other countries, or sometimes properties matters, and that's all things are happening. However, that should be implemented. The criticism is already leveled again at this type of conditions. India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh have quite higher tariff rate. Another biggest comment is made is particularly these 4 countries, they are imposing a little bit high tariffs. Of course, rest of 4 countries have to suffer from that, so that should be reduced. India's superiority is a threat to other member countries as India is possessing largest natural, human and financial. That is always there because I already said in the beginning itself, India is one of the biggest economy among these 8 economies, and then there is a sometimes of some superiority is always there, and this is of course every time the less developed countries and those countries which are they are feeling that I am not up to the mark of India, and they are going to criticize it. That may not be taken so seriously, but that should be taken care of. These are the main criticisms, and even some of the other criticisms are with the removal of trade barriers among SAARC countries. Illegal trade is increased. Of course, this is what happens between some our neighboring country like Bangladesh, of course, mainly Pakistan and Bangladesh and all. That should be controlled, but that is happening after trade, removing trade barriers. Bank relations are not developed among SAARC countries. The credit instruments are different among the member countries. In European countries they have a euro as a common currency, but in SAARC we couldn't able to have that type of common currencies. But different countries are having different currencies. That is why the credit instruments are different among member countries. So that should be taken care of in the days to come. The long-drawn hostility between India and Pakistan has overturned the schedule of various activities. Yes, definitely that has happening now. That is what we are observing every time, because hostile type of attitude of Pakistan. If I have to say like that, because India is always going in favor of peace, but Pakistan is not going to agree with that every time. So that turned out to be the schedule of various difficulties in conducting various activities, even SAARC summits sometimes. So from that angle, there is a biggest problem for us. Anyhow, that hostility should be curbed, so that there will be a good outcome in the South Asia and the progress will be very high, because hostility, people will not work peacefully. So from that angle, India as well as Pakistan should think seriously about these matters. Mutual faith is the only way to achieve harmony among SAARC countries. It will improve economic as well as political environment. Definitely, if there is mutual understanding, a mutual faith, and if there is interdependence, and if there is sincerity among the member countries, probably there will be definitely a big, huge jump or huge, change in the SAARC countries, and that should be taken care of. There should be a good harmony among member countries also. So there is a need of improvement, both economic as well as political aspects. So in conclusions, all these things work for welfare of their member countries. That's what every member unions are formed for the sake of that reasons only. They see the unity for the fruit called economic development. Their role in determining economic phenomena is international level is of significant most. The study helps us to know why and how this regard is fulfilled. So these are the things that you have to take care of, and that makes the objectives to reality. Then only there is chances for improvement also. So this type of unions should take care of these all things. So friends, this is all about the SAARC. This is one of the important topic in international trade for Indian point of view, and even today, because of there is a huge changing pandemics happening in world, and in these conditions probably there may be some swing from the America to Asian countries. In such case, this SAARC has a dominant role to play. And with this, I conclude the topics. Thank you for your patient hearing. These are the reference I made. Of course, if you want to refer, you can refer it, and so that you can understand even better. So try to understand and prepare for the exams. Thank you, dear students, for patient hearing. Thank you.